You've come so far in everything that you have learned about yourself, how your energy works, what you need. And this month is a little sacred opportunity for you to practice that, for you to integrate that. You have the ingredients to create inner peace. Hello and welcome back to Remember Why You're Here, a podcast for seekers and sensitives where you can relax, receive, reconnect to yourself, and remember the most important thing of all, why you're here. I'm Asia Suler, author, teacher, earth intuitive, and this is our intuitive reading for December 2025. Cannot believe we're at the end of this year already, but the card that came up for this month actually brought me so much relief and peace. So I'm excited to hop into it. The themes for this month include new states of inner clarity, creating inner peace, having the skills to know how to create inner peace, allowing contentment, and rejuvenation before the unfurling. So without further ado, let's get into it. I felt like there was a stone that wanted to come in for us this month. I haven't picked any cards relating to stones yet in the reading since I started doing readings at the beginning of this year. So I decided to work with the Crystal Ally deck for this, which is by Naisha Ashan, who I think is going by a different name now, Samara Astor. And I have had this deck. This deck was gifted to me many, many years ago. And it was one of the first decks I worked with that got me really interested in stones. And I have since gone on to work with stones in my practice to study the Daoist lineage of stone medicine. And so in this reading for this month, I'm going to combine what was in the guidebook, but also what I know of with this stone that came through, as well as the messages that came through my channel and my guides. So the card that I got for this month is Tourmaline, Inner Peace. On the card, it is a pathway to a temple, and inside the temple looks like a pink bubblegum bubble inside of the temple. And I know that I remember reading when these cards were created that images of the stones were actually embedded into the cards. And so there's tourmaline images in here of close-up pictures of tourmaline. And I was excited about getting this card because tourmaline has such clear, direct, potent energy. And of course, the theme of inner peace. Who doesn't like that? And I just want to leave a little note here to say, if you listened to the November reading, know that when I picked that card, Our Lady of Thousand Waters, one of the key things it said about November was being able to allow the emotions and the waters to move through so that you can come to a place of peace. And then for December, I pick inner peace or tourmaline. I just loved that. That felt like such a special little arc for all of us. So in this deck, one of the things that is said in the card for tourmaline is that this is about living in the current moment, about releasing emotional patterns from the past to be able to experience peace, joy, and healing. Also, can I just say that in that reading for last month, that is exactly what we were talking about as something that we were doing in November, is allowing these emotional patterns, these emotions to move up and through us. And in this month, one of the pieces of guidance in this guidebook is all about rewriting those emotional patterns, of renegotiating those patterns so that you can experience more joy, you can experience more healing, and yes, you can experience more inner peace. So all that work we did last month, everything that came up for you in the last month, it is here to now help you reach this space of experiencing more inner peace, of expanding your capacity to experience inner peace. So part of the description specifically says, inner peace is a vibratory state in which you're able to perceive and release emotional patterns that may be influencing the reality you are experiencing. This release of old patterns enables you to experience life in the moment without feeling the need to play out emotional habits that were created in the past. And the affirmation for this card is, I live and create in the moment. Now, I'd love to talk about what I understand with tourmaline and tourmalines and help you connect in from a little bit more of a Daoist lens, because that's my background in studying stones. And I think this will really help complete some of the picture. So Tourmalines are considered to be nourishing tonics. So tourmalines in general, and tourmalines come in a lot of different colors. There's pink tourmaline, there's green tourmaline, there's watermelon tourmaline. Tourmalines are thought to both build and cleanse, to draw things out of latency in our body. So draw things from where they've been like hidden or stuck in the crevices and the corners and allow them to come up and out, clearing anything that's lingering. And what really came up for me when I got this card is this sense of like, whoa, we did so much emotional cleansing work in November. And now in this month, it's almost like allowing the last of those waters to flow, like really letting whatever needs to come up and out, allowing it to be released from you so that you can come back into integrity with yourself, come back into a sense of wholeness, like a greater sense of wholeness than existed before. In Daoist stone medicine, tourmaline is often used for restlessness, insomnia, agitation, PTSD. We know that all of the gem quality tourmaline that exists has high lithium content. Lithium is a compound that's often used in treating depression. So there's this lifting, there's a bringing up and out, there's a sense of processing and releasing and letting go of these patterns that have kept you in hard places or have kept you stuck in darker places. This is also a stone that is really rich in minerals. So there's a vitality and aliveness to it, a nourishment to it. In Chinese medicine, it's thought to nourish the blood. It helps bring you into a sense of aliveness, helps you to feel more alive because you are releasing what you don't need anymore. You are coming into the present moment, coming into fullness in this deeper way. I really see tourmaline as a stone of strength and directness. It's helping you to know which direction to go in, to have this strength, to really have the clarity of this is who I am. This is where I am. This is my life. So let's move into what specifically came in for me through my guides and through my channel with this card of tourmaline or inner peace. Well, this is a theme that's been coming up a lot recently, but I really think we're getting to like a new level of it. And this is this theme of clarity. There's a sense that like whatever you worked through in November, the spiritual catch up that happened in November was important because of like all the things that you've learned, especially this past fall, about who you are, how you work, what you need. And now in December, there's this piece where it feels like what's on offer is your ability to integrate what you've learned about who you are, how you work, what you need. And this month, this integration month, has this potential for inner peace because once you understand how you work and what you need, you have the ingredients to create inner peace. That's what inner peace is. Inner peace has nothing to do with our outer environments. Our outer environments can be pure chaos. And yet we can be able to access inner peace when we know what we need, when we know what it feels like to be still inside of ourselves, to embrace these places of peace. You've learned something in this last arc of the year about how you specifically operate. You've learned the value of prioritizing inner peace, especially when the outer world is chaotic and overwhelming. There's been times this autumn where you have been given the task of accessing inner peace despite what's been going on around you. And so now in December, all of that like learning is becoming so beautifully integrated. It's becoming so much more available, and you're really able to see how much you've learned and your ability to find and maintain these states of inner peace. You knowing how your energy works is what gives you this ability to create inner peace in your life. And you have learned so much about that in this last arc of the year, this fall, knowing how your unique energy functions in this world, what you need, what works for you. This is how you create peace. And you have been doing a lot of research into this past fall. And so now this December, there's this opportunity to really sink into that. And this might sound a little simplistic, but I think it needs repeating like forever, that this is a time and a month for you to focus on the light, to focus on your inner light, to focus on what brings you alive. Where I am in the Northern Hemisphere, we are moving into the solstice season. So we are getting close to the winter solstice, a time when all of our festivals revolve around these festivals of light, this acknowledgement that the light is returning, that life is returning. And so there is an invitation here to know that when you gift yourself time to focus on the light, to, focus on yourself, to focus on the things that make you feel alive and bring you connection, when you allow yourself time for, contentment and peace, that this inner peace that you can access creates more harmony in the world around you. The world needs you to be able to access inner peace. It is really incredible what a ripple this creates in the fabric of reality around you. So there is a theme this month of allowing contentment, of allowing that contentment to be there, even in the midst of the busyness of the holiday season, the overwhelm of the season, getting ready to go on the holiday break and be on a break from school. There's a lot that tends to happen in our culture in December. And yet I also want you to give yourself permission to drop into the contentment of this month. Like, I'm talking Hallmark movies, cozy socks, like that kind of contentment. Like, whatever it is that makes you feel like your life is a Hallmark movie, give yourself that this month. It is not selfish. It is not going to take you away from being a compassionate, kind, active participant in this world. It's actually the opposite. It's going to help you create more inner peace so that you can show up. You can show up and be this overflowing cup. And so give yourself that, give yourself that inner sanctuary, thinking back to the image of this card of this bubblegum pink bubble inside of this temple. It's like, give yourself that sanctuary this month, and it will be really profound what you're able to access and tap into and share with others from this state of inner peace. And listen, you earned this after the hard work that you did in November of all the emotional clearing, all the emotional release. This feels like some hard-earned peace. Just a little bit of a peace plateau, a space to rest a little bit, to get some twinkle in your life, to just enjoy the moment in any way that you can. And to give yourself space for rest, for integration, for joy, to create rituals that mark the sacredness of this time. This is an incredibly sacred time of the year, this time of, in where I live in the winter solstice, maybe you're getting close to the summer solstice if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. There's a reason why this has remained one of the most sacred times in our cultural imagination, despite the difference of the changing of the tides of, religion and time and place. And it's because this time of getting into the shortest days of the year, it lengthens the mysticism. It lengthens the unseen. It invites us into these deeper tides of our life, into these places where the mystical reigns. And so any way in which you can mark this time, the sacredness of this time, to give yourself permission to sink into that sacredness is going to be really important. It's something that you're being asked to do this month. Because there's this sense of this month that this is the rejuvenation before the unfurling. That going into January, as we often do in the start of this Gregorian calendar, that this is the time in which we initiate new projects, we set new goals for the year. And the way I saw it was like a seed head, emerging from the ground in January. It's like that very first unfurling from the seed of this, tiny little sapling or this tiny little seedling. And that energy of rolling up from the earth, rolling up will come in January if you give yourself time and permission to be in the earth right now. If you give yourself this time of inner peace, of stillness, of rejuvenation, of giving yourself permission to experience contentment. And this is a choice. There's a place here where inner peace is always a choice, because there will always be things going on in the outer world. There's always going to be kerfuffles. There's always going to be busyness. There's always going to be invitations. There's always going to be things on the to-do list. So this is a potent moment for you to choose inner peace, for you to practice all you have gleaned in this past year, everything you've learned about yourself, and really incorporate it into a practice, a ritual of creating inner peace for yourself, of allowing yourself to rest in states of peace whenever they do exist, to breathe into them, allow them to expand, and to know that you have come so far. You've come so far in everything that you have learned about yourself, how your energy works, what you need. And this month is a little sacred opportunity for you to practice that, for you to integrate that, and for you to choose inner peace, to know that you are worthy of experiencing peace, that what you give to the world innately just through being yourself gives you that permission slip to take time for inner peace, to know that this is a power that you bring to the world, that when people move from a place of inner peace, it moves and ripples out in the fabric of the world around them. And you are one of those people. So it's important that you prioritize inner peace, that you have the strength. It's a strength to give yourself permission to do this, to give yourself permission to access states of inner peace. And everything that you've learned this year, that you've specifically really touched into this fall, is here to help you access that state more and more. So when it is there, when you are feeling it, breathe into it, expand into it, feel it, just like you practiced feeling your emotions in November. We all are practicing that. Now practice feeling peace. Practice letting peace be the thing that you feel, building capacity for feeling peace inside your system, for knowing that it's not boredom, it's not lack, it's not lesser than, it's not selfish, that this is an important life-giving energy, and you're giving yourself time to simply practice feeling the peace, allowing it in and allowing it to expand. So if you know that you want to create a holiday season that is full of peace and twinkle and magic and mysticism that is guided by the natural world, definitely check out my class, Holiday Magic and Medicine Making. This is a class I used to teach every single year live, and now I have it online. I go over the plants that I love working for this time. I have seasonal recipes, herb craft, mysticism, Yuletide magic, all the fun stuff that comes up with celebrating this time. I've had people tell me that they listen to it every single solstice, that they drop into it again and again to try a new recipe or to try, a new concoction. So that is on my website if you're interested. It's just a really fun thing to listen to when you're wrapping presents or when you're making cookies. So if you're interested in that, you can head on over to asiasuler.com. I also have a very deep mystical offering coming up that I'm going to be talking about in the next podcast. So if you know that you don't just want a season of depth or a season of mysticism, this class is actually going to see you through the whole winter season. And it has been one of the most profoundly impactful things I have taught, I have offered. I've seen really amazing experiences happen for people inside of this particular offering, and I'm super delighted to be bringing it back this year. So if you know you're ready to go deeper into mystical practices this winter, into connection with your innermost self, definitely stay tuned for that, because that's going to be an exciting thing that's opening next week. And I am in the last month of my sabbatical. I cannot believe how fast this year has gone. I'm so delighted that I've gotten this time. I'm really embracing the message of this month to create inner peace and to not get into the mode of, I need to do so much before the sabbatical ends, or, all the things I have to hop back into with the new year. I'm really giving myself permission during this time to take stock of all I've done, to be in the moment and to enjoy the kind of space I've created in my life. So if you have ideas for future episodes, including episodes in the new year coming up, leave me a voice message. Head on over to asiasuler.com/remember and leave me a voice note. I've been loving continuing to receive your voice notes as I am on the sabbatical, and I'm really excited, and it feels good to be really excited to be returning in the new year, to be back in full flow of creating courses, of launching new content. I've already started to dip my toes in a little bit, and I'm really excited for what's about to come up. So until then, may you have a truly magical, restful, Hallmark cozy, contented season full of inner peace. And as you touch those innermost shores of yourself, may it help you remember that most important thing of all, why you're here.